Hi, Rakhi.
Hi,
You're
Anu.
from Arcapsys and welcome to
That's
Founder
right.
Chat. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Thank you, Anu. First of all, a big thanks to you for having me over here. And I'm Rakhi Gupta. My company, as you just said, is Arcapsys Techno Solutions. And we are making a smart inhaler. This is specially designed for the asthmatic patients who use the normal inhaler. Now, this is an inhaler which we have invented, and this is going to help them in adherence, not only the timed adherence, but also the technique with which the inhalers are used. So that's what our company is about.
How old is the company?
We incorporated in March 2019, and in the meantime, we have already got 3 patents. We've already applied for 3 patents, and yeah, we are going strong. We have got the technology in place. We have got an anchor customer, so we are going strong.
That's very interesting to hear about technical innovation, um, and of course, it's always a good idea to patent something technological. But how big is the team now? I mean, a year. I assume you're still waiting to go to market. Where are you, as in the entire life cycle of a product? Where are you right now?
Okay, so as of now, we are still a small team. Apart from me, I have another co-founder with me. We have our CEO in place. We have got 6 people, technical people working under us right now. And we had an anchor customer, a big pharmaceutical company. So the way we have designed our product, we are going the B2B to C route. So basically, we are white labeling to pharmaceutical companies. So we already have an anchor customer, and now we're looking for more. And yeah, so that's how we are placed, and that's how we are planning to move on.
So why pharma? I mean, do you have a background, or does your partner or somebody has a background in pharma? Because I know that your actual other business that you do is in the investment advisory side, and from there to pharma is a very big shift. How did that come about?
Yes, that's right. So actually, more than pharma, it is more of an electronic device. We are not touching the medication at all. So it is just about the electronics. So the way we went about, the reason why this company came about was my son had developed wheezing issues. And the doctor used to tell us that if he does not adhere to the medication, the inhaler medication, it would turn into asthma. And by chance, at that point of time, the way we were living, our house, we had a double-story house. So basically, it meant me shouting and asking him all the questions about him taking the inhaler, which means, did he shake the inhaler or not? First of all, did he take it on time? And was he sitting up right when he took? And when he would go to school, he would not use his inhalers because of the social stigma that he would get in the school. So what he would do, we realized later, he would come back home, and right outside the door, he would just throw out the puffs. And then he would come back home and he would tell us that, he has taken the medication. And that's when we realized that there is a lot there's a lot which needs to be done in this area. So medication is one part of it, but then adherence is a total different part. And the doctor were continuously telling us that if he does not take the medication on time, it is going to turn into serious problems. So that's when we thought, me and my husband is an electronic geek. So that's when we thought that we can actually put electronics in the device so that we know if he has taken the medication on time or not, if the technique with which he was using the medication was correct or not. So we know the whole thing. And also, he cannot use the excuse of not remembering to take the medication just because he's sitting in a class, because the inhaler is sitting in his pocket and it would vibrate or beep depending on the settings that we have put on the application. It would vibrate and beep in his pocket. So he cannot use the excuse saying that I did not remember it. So that is how the idea of this whole device came about. And when we did a little research on this, we realized that 86% of the people who are using inhalers are using them wrongly. And out of which 46% mistakes are extremely critical, which can actually lead to acute asthma flare-ups. So that is when we thought, okay, this is where we need to find a solution for everybody who is in a situation like us. So that is how we came about this.
So it's always a good thing when our own needs are met by the inventions. Necessity is the mother of invention. It's a great thing that you had the necessity and you are trying to figure out a solution, and you are finding people like yourself who are in similar situations, and that is your customer base. It's fantastic. Tell me about this whole scenario we are in. I mean, globally, the pandemic and all these things, has it pushed back the timelines? How has it affected your startup, production timeline and go-to-market timelines?
It has affected us positively and negatively, both. Because so first, I would talk about the positives that it did to us. One, it gave us some time to rethink about a product. The product that we had originally created had zillions of features, which we realized probably we are too early in the market for. Not everybody's looking for specifically those features, though once they start using the product, they would want more. But as of now, to start with, probably we are putting in too many features, because of which our device is becoming more expensive. So then this lockdown period gave us this time to rethink our design and take out a couple of things which we would eventually introduce. But as of now, we can actually take out those things so that our pricing can become more competitive. And apart from that, we also got the time to file for patents. We had more thoughts. We had more time with our advisors, which are pulmonologists. So we were able to talk to them, and they were able to give us some ideas about, how this medication could be used more effectively. So we were able to file our patents in place. So because of that, because of the lockdown, things slowed down outside, but internally we got time to do a lot of things. So that was the positive. The negative that we can probably say is the manpower. We had a lot of issues with the manpower. Our technicians, our team had to go back to their residences without the hardware with them. So that created problem for us to get them working. Though of course we use this time to develop our app and get working on the app, but the hardware per se, there was a setback. So we had to move on our deadlines by 3 months on a couple of things, which I think in an overall scenario it's still okay. We were still able to create connections with our vendors. We have been in talk with a lot of suppliers. We have been able to do research on getting more clients. So there's been a lot of learning that has happened during this time. But yes, the setback did happen to a certain extent in certain areas.
Right. So I think overall it's a positive, right? I mean, most of the startups that come out with products, they fail because they have too many features. And
Right.
I believe that this break has given you the right direction. I think it's all overall a positive, because
Yes.
the feature creep is not there. Typically as a founder, you want everything inside, but people want the basic first. The what we call it is the MVP, minimum viable product first. And I think you're on the right path. Good that you got a break to rethink. Most founders are so busy executing, they don't have a time to go back to the blueprint and think again. Great to know that. So tell me a little bit about, now you have done the patenting, you have done your research, vendors, management, and all that is happening, right? How do you plan to market this? You are saying it's a B2B2C. Is there
Right.
exclusivity, or how do you plan to market and go to market with this?
So we are already in talks with some pharmaceutical companies. We already had our anchor customer who gave us the first order of this device. I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to take the name of the customer, but then it is a pharmaceutical giant. And so now with our variants coming in with lesser features, the price being more competitive, we are trying to reach out to more pharmaceutical companies who are probably not the number 1, 2, 3 of the world, but they are prominent enough for us to give us a substantial market. So that is the way we are planning to do. So since it is B2B in the first place, there is not a lot of branding that we need to do as of now, as long as it is, we are decent enough that our B2B customer is able to recognize us. As far as the second part of our strategy, that is B2B2C part, so we are already in the process of creating awareness blogs. We are already creating a lot of material content for people to know. And also I think smart inhalers, this is an area which is going to pick up very fast. I'm looking at 2021 as the year of smart inhalers as far as asthmatics are concerned. In fact, if you really look at Europe, they are far ahead of us in all of this. So over there, because asthma is so much more prominent and so much more over in European countries, and India also it is there. But in India, I guess we being the value customer, we are okay to adjust with a minimum in the beginning till we see something else in our hand. So with that idea, I think in 2021 there is going to be a hype about smart inhalers, and we want to be prepared and be there at that point of time. So that is how we are planning to go ahead. Basically, white labeling for now.
So I believe B2C side, anyway, the pharma companies have a vast network. They will always be able to push it hard.
Right.
Sounds like a perfect, niche and the plan that you have found yourself. Okay, this is about the company. This is about the people. This is about your technology and the passion and all that. As a founder, what do you do day to day for this company? What keeps you busy? It's very early stage, I understand that, but
Yes.
then still would like to know how you keep yourself busy on a day-to-day basis with this business.
To say that to keep myself busy, it's an understatement actually. My everyday working time starts with me first connecting with my technical team, and since most of them are located in their own houses and working from there, it is a challenge to keep them motivated to work towards a common goal. So my first part of my working hours goes towards talking to the technical team, finding out if everything is going fine from their end, making sure they don't have any issues. If they have any issues, then I have to find solutions for them. And I myself, I'm not a technical person, so it takes that much more for me to be able to connect people together and keep pushing them ahead. Once I've done that, once I've spoken to my technical team, which is like a everyday routine, about an hour goes in that, then I speak to my vendors and suppliers. I have some people from US who are there, and there are some people from Taiwan who are there. So I speak to them, and then I speak to the field application engineers of that place, connect them with my technical team to see that there are no problems. So, like for example, we are using the components from Microchip. We are using from Nordic. So our technical team has to understand their products well so that they can use it in our development. So that connection happens. That also takes some time. So once that has happened, then as a founder, money is something that we have to work towards. So then starts my talk with the investors. We already have an investor on board. So I have to talk to them, and then the search for more investors starts. So some time goes in that. And now the government of our country is also doing a lot for startups. So then starts my search and applications for grants and funds. Once that happens, then there are personal connects that I have to work out with, because the search for investor is not just one time. It's not just one institute you get in touch with and you are sorted. It doesn't happen. There's a lot of networking which is involved in the process. So then a lot of time goes in that. And then whatever time that is remaining goes in my market research. It goes in me looking for more leads as far as pharmaceutical companies are concerned. So there's a lot of time which goes in that too.
So if I were to put it in simpler terms, you are keeping your team on track. So project management is one thing you're doing. You're doing investor hunting, and you're also doing your market research for market research is for product development or for marketing?
For marketing.
For marketing. So you're also...
So basically, I'm looking for the client base, pharmaceutical companies.
All right. Fantastic.
Recently, somebody asked me that, since you are running a startup and you're on the company going, there must be a lot that you must be doing. So, I was just telling her, I have become a technician. I have become an electrician. I now know how to create a website. I now know how to, I know basically all small things. I know the basics of accounts. I know basics of everything that you can think of. I know how to create my own brochures. I know how to create my content. There is so much that I already know. So a founder wears a lot of hats at different point of time. So, and of course, this lockdown has just helped on. It's made me learn more things. So that, of course, has happened.
As they say, right? Nobody wants to hire a founder of a startup because they know so many things about so many things. It becomes difficult for others to work.
Yeah, I can totally imagine that. Right.
Rakhi, thank you so much for coming on Founder Chat. It was a pleasure having you here. All the best for product launch and all the best in growing your company.
Thank you, Anu. Thanks a lot for having me over. It was a pleasure being here and talking to you.